You know what kind of video this is going to be? This is a video where I have to start off with, these opinions are all my own. Just me. Just me as a Magic player. Just me. So for those who aren't fully clear on exactly what happened, Chapin was playing with a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, and that Planeswalker allows you to use a +1 ability, which is look at the top 4 cards, and you can put a creature or a Planeswalker among them into your hand. Cool, that's great. And he uses it, and he does so, but when he picks the only option that he has, which is Tarkir, he puts it into his hand, he puts it face down, basically into his hand, and puts the other 3 lands that are on top, not even options, on the bottom. And at which point it is noted that he didn't show the card. He apologizes and says it's Tarkir, and I can show you my whole hand because you've seen most of my hand anyway already via Courser Crewfix. And as a result, a judge call is made, and after the judge call is made, it is then appealed, and then after a very extended period of time, it is finally explained that he will be getting a game loss for drawing extra cards. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened the way it happened. And I'm not here to really focus on the way that it happened. I've got some tweets on the screen from Cedric Phillips, who I think did a good job at kind of summarizing what it was that went wrong, that shouldn't have happened, things that did happen, and ideally will never happen again. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned here, and that's fine. And one of the lessons that I want to talk about is not being upset at certain people. It's really being upset about the ruling, the reason that all of this happened the way it did. There's a rule in the Magic comp rules and the tournament rules, the mastering, the big rules for Magic, that say you cannot use a video replay if you're under coverage. You cannot use a video replay to confirm a ruling, to change a ruling, to affect a ruling. And I think that is completely ridiculously terrible. And I think what we saw here today was why. If you watch Chapin activate a Johnny, we see the 4 cards. We see them as clear as day. There is Tarkir and lands. He takes Tarkir. Everyone sees him taking Tarkir. So there isn't this big surprise that he is drawing extra cards because he puts the only card of the option, the only option in that entire stack, into his hand. When he realizes it, because he's playing fast and they told him that, we need to speed things up and whatever, he's in turns. He's like, oh, it was Tarkir. And the guy saw what he had drawn based on Courser Crewfix. But it doesn't really matter if the guy saw what he'd already drawn, because he revealed Tarkir for a Johnny, and that was exactly what he got off a Johnny. However, the rules say that if you're to use an effect like a Johnny, and then you don't reveal it, but you put it into your hand, the instant that card physically touches the rest of your hand, you just drew extra cards, you get a game loss. Get out. That's not right. I don't know how else to say that. Because we saw it. There is the letter of the law, and there is the intent of the law. And the fact that you can get burned when it is so clear he is not trying to cheat. Why are these rules in place? Why do we even have a rule that says if the card physically touches another card? Why? Because people are shady. But look, it exists because people can cheat. People do cheat, and it's bad. But when we are watching it, when us 18,000 people were watching that happen, could see what he was doing, knew that he was basically innocent, that he was just rushing, he was just, under the, there's a lot of pressure involved, not just the Pro Tour, the fact that that tens of thousands of people are watching you play. If you've never been in that situation, I'm telling you, man, it can get real nerve-wracking because you start getting real nervous real fast. And when it happened, and all of a sudden there was this kind of back and forth about the letter of law says this, and why does it say that? Why? Let's talk about why. I feel that because the technology is not there, that's one of the reasons that the ruling was made the way it was. Now, the other side of that is It's there, and they rule it that way so that coverage doesn't get special treatment. That those who are under the lights or under the cameras are treated the same as the people out on the floor who are just playing the regular Pro Tour matches that are not in the feature match area. To which I call the BS, because we already treat feature matches differently. We seat them differently. We give them time extensions. We make sure, like, and for the Pro Tour, you have to look at what's in their hand, and you kind of look over their shoulder and make them show you those types of things. Like, they check out their sideboards and, like, all of these things, and they talk about their decks. It's like that we kind of treat them special anyway. And why, when this letter of the law, the intent of this law is to stop people from cheating, when it is so obvious at the end of the day that Chapin was not cheating? He was just not. It was not. There was no this, like, because we put it in there and we said it has to happen this way, even though thousands upon thousands of people watched it and knew it was not supposed to happen that way, knew that he wasn't doing anything wrong, that he just was rushing. Like, it's absurd. I can't wrap my mind around it. It's like, it's just the most raw, pure injustice because we saw it. That's why it's different. It's different because there 10,000 people are watching. You got, like, maybe a half dozen judges on a certain table or a certain thing that they're wanting to keep track of out in the not feature area, and then you got like 20,000 people watching a thing. Why would you do that? And the whole reason this drug out to a ridiculous degree, painful degree, is because the letter of the law says this because you don't want to treat them special. But we already treat them special, and Chapin basically got robbed. I don't know if he was going to win the game, but certainly he had the chance to play out of it. And because he rushed a little bit, and we all saw it, he still gets screwed over. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Me, as a Magic player, just a dude who started this entire YouTube channel because I love Magic. To see something like that, I just think is bad. It's not just how it was presented. It's not just the commentary stuff, whatever. No. The whole reason that rule is screwing over Patrick is because they don't want to notice or legitimize or give actually any credence to the thousands of people who just saw what happened and knew that he wasn't doing anything wrong. That's what I got a problem with, and that's what I want to hear about from you guys. I want to hear about. How do you feel about the fact that because they want to treat the entire tournament the same, whether or not you're under the lights or you're outside playing with everyone else, is that okay? Are we okay with that? I am not okay with that. I think that is absurd. Now look, here's what's going to happen, and here's what the people are going to immediately say. Chapin made a mistake earlier in the game, at least based on what Twitter's told me. I didn't go back and look myself, but I believe them because many, many people said it, that during the turn that he played Elspeth, he played 2 lands in a row. Now, my argument to that is that there wasn't a judge call about that. That was just a good old-fashioned mistake. No one caught it. It just happened. Mistakes are mistakes. I'm not saying that we have to, he screwed up on camera, 5 turns ago. So, at the end of the match, we got to come up to him and say, hey, you screwed up so bad, we're giving you a game loss. It's absurd. There was no judge call over the extra land. There was a judge call on this. And this judge call and this letter of the law is what brought us to where we were and what we saw today. And oh my God. And it just, kind of made me feel bad. Kind of made me feel bad as a Magic player because judges are awesome people. They work super hard. They're not trying to screw over anybody. But what I'm saying is it feels like these things screw people over because you're trying to keep this integrity that is still there. You're not losing it. People recognize and respect the fact that if 10,000 or 20,000 people saw that he had a Tasigur in 3 cards, put those 3 on the bottom, and you saw Tasigur go to his hand, it's Tasigur. This isn't some magic that he just... This is a magic that he just came up with. He knows what he's doing, man. He's a pro. He's really good at Magic. He just got rushed. I totally understand it, and whatever. Okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be back soon. I'm working on some really cool stuff that I think you'll like. And until then, this is Evan Irwin tapping the cards so you don't have to.
always like the fatties.